the planet is going to be okay without humans. We have to save humanity first and foremost. Did Christian hop on, by the way? Not yet. So I'm going to ask Christian, or I'm going to put him on the spot a little bit later to see if we can do some showcases of our latest creative work. But Cody, I think you can also probably share some cool stuff towards the end. But okay, good. We're recording and we're almost 5 minutes in. So thanks everybody for coming to the all hands. For a lot of the new folks that may have not seen some of our previous ones, just know that all of them are recorded and they're all available in Notion, a nice all hands meeting section. I would, if you haven't seen any of these previously, it might be a really cool idea to see at least the last 2 or so, just so you can kind of get caught up to speed on how we're doing things, what our direction looks like. And it's kind of a cool history lesson where you kind of see, hey, where have things progressed since we first started here? We have every single recording available for you to make fun of. You can see me living in like really shitty scenarios for the past 3 months. Like I've gone from hotel to shitty Airbnb to like slightly better. So you get to see all my fun backgrounds. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick screen share so that way we can all follow the agenda. All right, hang on. And I believe what we're going to do is aim for this all hands to happen each week, largely because what we're doing now is basically setting up our whole rhythm of business. Is everybody able to see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. I got some weird choppiness going on.
Breaking up.
Shit. Am I lagging a lot?
Try scrolling again.
Oh. Yeah, I got some weird stuff going on in Notion right now.
When you scroll, yeah, it's lagging. Half the page scrolls, half the other doesn't.
I see. It's 2020. That's the problem.
It updates though, so I guess just go slow.
All right. So what we normally do each week now is we've got our standard agenda where we go through new team members and introduce them, go through shout outs and accomplishments, kind of celebrate all of the stuff that we're doing because there's so many of us. I'll walk through our roadmap and where we currently stand. And then again, just want to remind everybody on some of the rhythm that we got here. And if anyone wants to volunteer to showcase some amazing, inspiring, artistic, creative work, this is your moment. Usually I put Christian on the spot for this one. But at the minimum, we could definitely take a look at the homepage redesign preview, as well as our crowdfunding video, which is in its final stages of polish. So in case anyone's got access to these things and wants to do screen share for me, please help me out by preparing for screen sharing later on in the meeting. So praying somebody out there will help me. All right.
Send me the link and I can screen share.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Or somebody can do it. All right, so I cannot keep track of all the people that are joining the project and the team now. So usually I'm able to list them all out here in the section. But what I'm going to do instead is look for people on the current meet and ask them to introduce themselves and embarrass themselves. So Eddie, you are the first person I am seeing that is relatively new. Tell us about yourself. Say hi and welcome to the team.
Thanks.
Hey.
Hello everybody. I think I said the other day, but I'm up in Canada, so I'm avoiding all the stuff that you guys are dealing with, which is perfect for me. But yeah, it's just snowed here, so that's amazing. I was just living in Ireland for the last 2.5 years, doing storyboard work over there, so that was pretty cool. So now I'm back in Canada. I'm from here originally. I'm in Toronto, and I like punk rock and stuff like that. And yeah, and some Street Fighter action. What else? I draw a lot of comic book work at nighttime as well. So I kind of juggle back and forth between that kind of stuff. Yeah, anything else anyone wants to know, just ask me whenever. I'm around.
All right. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family, Andrew. And actually, what Andrew's going to start to focus on is actually joining the games pod. And one of the biggest needs we have there is starting to come up with concept arts for our avatars and items, the most badass part of the whole Leyline experience. So we're looking forward to a lot of your awesome art concepts.
For sure.
Eddie, welcome aboard. How are you, man?
So I think 80% of the people in here have heard from me at this point. I am a content marketer. I was in the Yang Gang. I helped a lot on Yang's social media campaign. And I really think I'm going to start focusing on short form video, so TikToks, and transition that into different pieces of content. Be solidifying which project I'll be working on later today. So happy to be here.
All right. Thanks, Eddie. And it is a very interesting space, TikTok. Just the virality and the speed at which content just blows up is crazy. So it is going to be a pretty essential channel for us to reach a lot of eyeballs, and particularly this demographic of gamers, students, younger generation, etc.
For sure.
Who else has not yet to really introduce themselves and say hi to everybody?
I've never made it to an all hands meeting yet.
All right, Cody.
But like Eddie said, I've met at least half of those that are in this group, if not a few more. But I'm Cody. I'm a bit newer. I've worked in news broadcasting for a good 8 years, and then in a marketing department for another 4. So I create content. I tell stories. I like to be on camera and have fun, and I do a lot of public speaking. So video work, motion graphics, and After Effects, and maybe even add some animations to some of the characters I'm hearing Andrew might be making. That could be super cool. Put that in After Effects or Character Animator and do some stuff with it. Bring them to life. That'd be fun. So far, what I've been working on has been trying to make engaging, humanizing, fun videos that answer frequently asked questions that hopefully build trust. For those who prefer not to read, but maybe listen or watch somebody talk, that would be me. So like, in fact, for all of the documents on the Notion page, I actually just had Siri read them to me. Because I can read. I'm literate. I can read, but I don't know. I'd rather hear, even if it's a mechanical voice, talk to me than sit there and like scroll through things. And what's great is I was able to like help, with chores around my house while listening to everything, and so like listening to all the messaging. So for folks like that who want to probably listen to somebody talk, if not watch a video, I'm hoping to help out with stuff like that. Maybe make some visual aids that simplify things. How to enroll with Boink, create a Leyline account, download the app when all that's ready to go. I just know there's a lot of folks out there that could really, they're visual learners or auditory learners that prefer something like almost tangible, if you will. So I'm hoping to help out with that. So I'm kind of in the community and marketing world, but use me where you can. I'm excited. There's another, I'm sorry, I'm taking too much time. There is a new app I've been getting involved with called Stereo, and I would love to talk with whoever might want to hear about that. Have you done anything with Stereo, Eddie? Is that what you're waving?
I've downloaded it. It's very interesting.
It is interesting, and so I don't have to pitch it right now, but it could be a way to engage listeners who are just scrolling through stuff. Oh, these guys are talking about something really cool, games, tech, a new thing that's going to change the world. Might stop and listen in and say, and just keep driving people to the crowdfunding page and engage with us that way. So a lot of cool stuff. I'm excited to be a part of this team. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are just amazing.
I'd like to add something that Cody said. He cannot read. So
all right, validated. It's on record, by the way, Cody, just so you know.
I love you,
but
Cody.
yeah, amazing work already, Cody, with your FAQ videos. Really wonderful stuff. And I personally hate being on camera and doing all this public speaking stuff. So maybe you could just take over for me. I would really appreciate that. That's hopefully the plan.
I seem to not mind it. When we met and we're like, hey, could you do this? I'm like, cool. I was born for this.
Love it. Mr. Mark Dion, welcome to the show. Want to say a few words?
Yeah, sure thing. Hey guys, joined the business development pod just last week. So helping out the team with contracts, partnerships, sponsorships, even whatever I can do just from a BD and contract standpoint. So, and selling as much as I can too. So good to meet you, everybody.
I'd also like to add that Mark cannot read either.
You should just send it in chat so that they can't tell that you're trolling them since they can't read. Just saying.
I love Mark.
All right. And there's so many people to introduce because literally I think half the folks on this chat joined in the past week or so. And I'm going to open up a slot for 2 other people if you guys want to introduce, and then we'll move on. Who wants to volunteer themselves as a guinea pig? Sarah, maybe? Or Eugenia? If not, we can move on.
I can read. I run a book club. If anyone's interested in joining, please feel free to reach out to me. You're all welcome to join. But yeah, I'm also on BizDev, but I'm more here to help standardize some processes, make sure that everything is consistent across the whole brand. I'm currently working on the influencer program, which will start in BD, but probably move over to community once we have a process in place. And once we can actually get some influencer managers trained up to own a specific tier, I'll be reviewing that plan with Jeremy in like 30 minutes from now. So I hope to have more updates for people. I know a lot of people have asked to get involved.
Right on. Thank you, Eugenia. Both Eugenia and Mark are going to save my life because I am dying trying to do like a lot of the business development and partnerships. Again, another area that is not my strength and passion. So thank you so much for being here. All right, so we're going to jump into accomplishments and shout outs. So basically what we do here on a team is we want to make sure we're giving each other some kudos because we work fucking hard and we work fucking fast. And it's important we kind of humanize ourselves and say, holy crap, we've actually accomplished a lot. So we're going to do a bit of hot potato where somebody does a kudos or a shout out or calls out a nice victory, and then they get to choose who goes next. So does anybody want to start the process?
I'll start.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, shout out to Jeremy, who fucking works fast and who fucking works hard and who's always on and who's keeping us together, and that contagious mission that he has and vision for this company has brought all of us together. So thank you for that. So many other people, but also Jamie, who's like, even on his day off, he's responding to messages when I'm reaching out about something. So thank you for that.
Right on. Well, I guess I'll take the potato. I am going to do a shout out to Homa because here's an interesting thing. So I am like reckless and wild and crazy. So one of our challenges is I like to spend a lot of money to hire people and get shit done. So Saul, but before he had to leave for personal matters, was always the guy reining me in on finances to say, hey, watch your budget. This is your money. You're going to lose it all. So he left and he didn't have any balancing factors. So Homa really stepped up to kind of keep me disciplined and like keep the visibility on our data and numbers. So he's a big reason, among many other folks, that we're not broke right now. So thank you so much, my good friend. I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thanks. It's funny because I was about to try to make public the accomplishment of 2 people. One of the 2 was Shaul, who is actually doing all the math and reconciliation and automation in making the figures understandable, clear, and highlighting where we are, where we're going on the accounting topic. So thanks, Shaul. I don't know if he's here because I joined lately. I doesn't seem to be there. And the second person is Alina. We were desperate in finding expert in security. It's a very rare talent to find. And she's joining and she's leading the security pod, being self-driven, making recommendation, thanks to the support of strong support of Paco and Arnaud as well. But she's delivered already so much since she joined. So I wanted to thank her.
And it's also worth noting, everybody, that it's okay if people aren't at the meeting. You still shout them out because they potentially will see this since it's recorded. So yeah, don't feel like people are missing out because we're a 100% remote company. So we make sure that content and information flows all over the globe, even if people are asleep. So feel free to shout people out.
I want to shout out to Brian and Kevin. Those two are very detailed individuals. I feel I don't know, the personality test, I'm more of the I influencer guy. And so when it comes to like the details and making sure everything's in, all the ducks are in a row, sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to really push myself. And those guys are like, they've been really accessible, messaging back to me even late at night. So they've really helped me feel like I'm plugging in and understanding what I'm doing to make sure I'm on brand and helping out where I can. So yeah, thank you, Brian and Kevin.
I guess that means I should go then. Hey, first off, I apologize for being late. My daughter was very much in want of my attention this morning. And thanks, Cody. I appreciate that a lot. I have to definitely call out the super hard work that both Lobby and Paco have been doing. I definitely feel like there are times where, because I'm juggling this project alongside so many others, that I lose track of small details or something comes up that I haven't been able to keep track of. And the two of you are definitely the guardrails that keep me in my lane, getting stuff done, staying on track. And, you know, as we kind of pull into this last couple of weeks of real heavy lift to make sure everything comes together and is epic, it's so helpful to have people who are just checking in and making sure that we're all getting everything done, have the tools we need, even just, you know, making sure that people are doing okay, right? The occasional check-in just to, hey, how things are going, means a ton.
Sorry, you go, Lavi?
Yeah, she went already. You passed the potato again.
Yeah. All yours.
Oh, well, so thanks so much, Cap. Actually, you are by far one of the easiest to chase in the whole company, which is great. You're very reactive, as it's one of the things I do normally. I would like to big shout out to the editorial team, both Kevin and Daniel, because they have been tanking a lot in the recent weeks and in the incoming ones as well. And also to Alina as well, because she has been with us in, I think, not even 2 weeks, and she has advanced a lot on all the security part so far. It's really huge. That could be from me. Labi, all yours now.
Oh, I already went. Anybody else wants to pass it on so I don't take so much time?
Sure. I was called earlier, but I wanted Kevin to talk. Yeah, I want to, just highlight Christian always does great work with the video and everything. So super happy with working with him and all the great work he's done. But I want to call out someone else specifically for one moment that they did on the project. Boogie, he faced this like last minute huge like wrench that was thrown into a system where his power went out right before we were going to record VO, but he totally sprung to action, figured it out, came up with a solution, going to his friend's house, setting up his VO recording booth in his closet, and totally just saved the day. So I just really respect that kind of resourcefulness. And Yeah, just pulling through for the team. So yeah, awesome job, Boogie.
Thanks, man. Anything to help. That was quite claustrophobic. But it was a good time. I want to call out, even though it's already been said, Lobby. She keeps me grounded. As you guys know and talk to me, my head is always in the clouds, and I'm always like 1,000 years into the future, trying to come up with some weird shit and to help the company. But she's holding on to it by a thread and keeping me grounded, and she's like the glue that keeps this place together. So I appreciate you very much, and I also want to shout out Eugenia, who also grounds me a lot. And she's like, "Look, you banana head, this is not how it happens." So I appreciate all of her tutelage, and she's absolutely wonderful.
I can go. I want to shout out a lot of the marketing team, like Crystal and Dolly and everyone that I see every day in those meetings. I know they're working hard because they're asking me for quests, so it's a very good sign, very, very good sign. And I'm logging them in for them and everything, so yeah, shout out to them.
All right, I think we're almost through the list. Sarah. Oh, sorry, Jamie. Who do you want to pass the potato to?
Yeah, Sarah, fine.
I've been off this week. I had massive back pain, so I don't have anything to report, any shout out, but shout out for Jamie for a really good handover we had on Friday. So back to you.
I hope your back's okay, Sarah. Oh no, we could get you. Yay for medicine. Let's get you hooked up. Some THC and CBD, maybe. We've got Ali left and Eddie. Trying to look through the list here, and Nathan.
I'd like to thank Arnold and Baco. Both of you guys have been freaking awesome to work with. Arnold is an excellent architect from everything I've seen, and Paco has been right on it. Romero as well. Those are the main three guys I've been interfacing with, but it's been great to see a crypto project have such great discipline and diligence. Compared to the other crypto project, this thing is a different universe. So thank you all for making that happen.
That's lovely. That's lovely to hear.
Paco, did you already go?
Yeah.
Yes, I did already. If you want.
Ramon, we didn't get to work with you yet. How about you go next? If there is somebody to go next, Jeremy.
We've got Eddie and Nathan and Oliver.
Hey, Eddie, you were in slot 1. Go ahead.
All right. Hey. So I haven't worked on many projects yet. I kind of feel bad, but I really want to shout out Daniel. He's been like super fun and organized, and has really kind of made the community pod feel like a good place to be.
Here.
Oh, someone's next.
I think we're going with Nathan.
Yeah, this is Nate. I'll be someone this time. I just want to thank everyone on the esports team. Boogie, Lobby, Eugenia, Jeremy. You guys are all fantastic for the support. My last 20 years of my career have been in healthcare IT. So jumping over to esports, it's pretty huge. So it's a different world, and I'm learning as I go. But I just want to thank everybody for their support.
Crazy adventure. Let's go.
Yep.
Mr. Pippin, how are you?
Good. I want to shout out to the UX team. I think they've done a really good job of taking the work that we've been cranking out on the Games Pod and turning that into a visual component that we can work on to get implemented into the website. They've done a really good job, and specifically Pavel. I've really been impressed with the work that he's done on the wireframes.
Agreed. All right. I think we got everybody.
I actually haven't gone yet.
Oliver Lubeck. My good friend Oliver. Welcome back.
Well, I'm just lurking. As you know, I haven't been really had a lot of time to do stuff lately. I hope picks up again after Thanksgiving. But just a huge shout out to everyone, like every single one, on the call and not on the call. You guys are doing an amazing job. It's hard for me to keep up with everything that is happening, which is a good sign, because it would be easy for me to just keep track of everything that's happening. Then you guys are slacking around and not doing your job. So kudos to everyone to constantly push the envelope and get this moving forward. Excited for the weeks to come, the crowdfunding, and then see all the madness that follows. So yeah, congrats and huge shout out to every single one of you.
Right on, my friend. Quick anecdote. Oliver is one of the first people I ever worked on with this project over 5 years ago in Europe. So we've certainly come a long way. All right, hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but we are.
She still hasn't gone.
Please. Yes.
Sorry, and it's okay, but she's not here. But Crystal this week, I think, has been a superstar, and I think she's gotten onto a call with like 3 or 4 other people other than myself, and just said, "Oh, here are the files you asked for. Here's where everything's located." And in terms of like influencer things, she made onboarding really easy. She knew where everything was located, and she knew how to document everything. And she was really interested in stepping up. And I was really surprised to hear that she's still in college, because she had such a strong sense of presence and self. So I think shout outs to her. I'm excited to see how she grows.
Ooh, I got one more. Who's a total rock star who hasn't been mentioned? Haley. Haley totally came through for us. She's a wizard. So when you see this, Haley, you're a total wizard.
100% agreed. So, all right, thanks everybody for sharing this. So, I mean, just to get a sense of like how big and how far we've gone together, and the level of talent here is, to me, like truly shocking, and in a very good way. So, for a long time, and even to this day, I've had some major doubts and imposter syndrome and all this stuff. But I think the sheer fact that we are all literally here on this call right now is a very powerful statement that there's something to this mission and to this idea and a set of beliefs. So I'm so moved by that and so grateful. So seriously, thank you for all being here and making this thing, or helping to make this thing a reality. Okay, so next item here is talking about our roadmap, probably the biggest meat of what we're going to tackle today, because we got a lot of stuff going on here. So I've got this project plan, and what I'm trying to do is just make sure that we've got this refreshed in real time, or at least once a week, so I can post it up. And you can see the next 2 months are incredibly busy and very, very chaotic as well. So right now, today, we are in our pre-launch campaign, basically seeding a lot of our social channels and starting to build our presence, starting to run through some early trial run podcasts and interviews, kind of trained up and get our messaging a lot tighter, and just testing the market. And at the same time, all of our development teams are focusing a lot on either the website redesign and front-facing channels, as well as continuing to iterate on our alpha wave or alpha tests and alpha build and proof of concept. So we've got a lot of different pipelines now operating in parallel, which was very much the intent when we designed the organization. So we've got these independent pods functioning autonomously, very fast, very high trust environments. They produce their output, and it all kind of comes together. So there is still a lot of work for us to do, because we've got to start booking a lot of our main crowdfunding launch activities. So we're going to start to move from the lower audience podcasts and outlets into more of the mainstreams. So we are trying to target bigger influencers and like traditional media outlets like GameSpot and IGN and all those folks. And that's really where we're going to start to kick off is November 16th. So a lot of these activities here start to converge. The website's ready to go. Their crowdfunding page and campaign it's posted up on GoFundMe. So the interesting thing to note is that the 16th is actually quite in the middle of like a shitstorm of like media stuff. So today, here we are with the US election And actually, it's really going to be tonight where things are going to happen. It's unclear what exactly would happen, but it's going to be unprecedented. So that's certainly going to eat up a lot of like the mind share and attention for pretty much everybody. And then on top of that, we've got the console releases and then a whole ton of major game launches. So realistically speaking, we've got to pay close attention to what's happening in the world and what the message is. Or rather, like how much noise is out there. That could determine whether or not we actually launch on the 16th. So we need to have a backup plan in case things are just way too crazy here. So the potential is that we end up moving this by a week, but we need to kind of think strategically about that. So it's not a definite change. So week by week, we'll keep on evaluating, but at the same time, we also want to evaluate all of the work that we are doing, and we want to make sure the quality that we get out to the public is super polished, super clear, and if we are not polished and ready to go, we will make the decision to move until we are ready. So first and foremost, we need to deliver quality, and this first impression is going to be so critical to win the hearts and minds of all the folks that are out there. One thing I will say is that, you know, pretty much from like now for the rest of the year and beyond, life is going to be very different, and our like the situation in the world is going to be really crazy. But we are on a mission. We are on a mission to try and solve these problems and help as many people as possible. So the more we can focus in on here, the bigger the impact that we can have. And so if anyone's like struggling or concerned or has this feeling of anxiety and you know, defeat, this is our opportunity to change the game there. Okay, so aside from that stuff, going beyond, we're actually going to be running the campaign on GoFundMe for at least 30 days, potentially more. The nice thing about GoFundMe is that these donation pages can just live forever. So even though we have like an arbitrary 30-day period where we're just promoting super heavy, at the end of the day, it's always just this constant stream of potential donors. But the idea is that at the end of the year, we're going to be able to tally up and see how much money we're able to raise in this initial crowdfunding. And that's where we have been saying post-funding is like when Leyline becomes like real. And see, so the plan is we raise as much money as possible, and then we get together sometime in January as quickly as possible for our first major Leyline retreat. And at that retreat is where we're going to strategize, team build, and the plan is we'll probably just rent a gigantic Airbnb castle and fly everybody out. The cost might be astronomical, so we have to figure out some way to do that practically. But yeah, the idea is that we want to really think about what does our 5-year future look like? How do we want to be organized? What are our values? How do we self-govern? What's our philosophy on hiring and building this entire pool of quest hunters? A lot of these questions are still unanswered because we haven't considered ourselves properly funded. So from that vision, we can start to build out what our budget looks like, how many people we can hire, where we can expand into, whether we set up a Leyline HQ in Canada. All these questions, we're going to start to get much more clarity around now that or as soon as we start getting money. So what else to call out here? I will say that a lot of this top level items here are really about driving as much donations as possible into the GoFundMe page, but the long game is actually focusing a lot on building our product. So now we're really piling on more engineering and design resources, focusing on building our alpha build. And the idea is that we want that popularity to grow organically. So the more we invest in our alpha testers, our community, the more transparent we are in what we're building, and the faster we can shift features and have an impact, the better. So a vast majority of all of our funding is going to go into investing into people to start building as quickly as we can. All right, I'll pause. Any questions here in terms of what the next couple months looks like and beyond? Here.
No question, but I just want to reiterate what you said. As you know, there's so much work that's gone into this, and it takes a village to bring this together. So thank you, everyone. And let's, especially because we are a small, or I don't want to say small, early stage startup. Our marketing funds is going to be within really the marketing fund. So it is really a lot of what is going to be community driven, which is what the team has been working very hard to put stuff together. So very soon we'll be having a lot of content that we can start inviting friends and family and passing that information on. So I would encourage everyone, once we kind of give you the green light, to start participating in our community, in our social channels, and help us pass on the word to your connections on the other side too. That's how we're going to be able to grow as on our channels right now and get the message out without marketing funds.
Thank you, Lavi. All right, cool. Well, if anybody has any questions or concerns or ideas in terms of all the milestones that we're going to hit and the immediate steps, feel free to reach out, post on Slack, or just let me know. I'm always open to feedback. And in fact, the entire organization thrives off of feedback. So please feel empowered to share your ideas. No ideas are bad.
I actually just got one, can I just throw out one little idea that popped in my head? Just because I do the art anyway, I could do an art, I don't know if this is far-fetched, but with the Capcom Cup for Street Fighter and all the fighting game tournament stuff, I've seen them do cross-promotion for t-shirts. So even if I had like the design already drawn up, you could present it to Capcom and they do the commercials in between. So it'd be like Leyline, Capcom, like Leyline X Capcom, and then whoever buy the shirt, they get, it goes towards both people. So I've just seen them do stuff like that before, so I don't think it's that far-fetched if we had any connections to even try to present that idea to them. Yeah, there you go. That's I just popped in my head. So
lovely. Thank you, Andrew. And actually, this is a good combo to have with the biz dev team. So yeah, I'll pop into the pod. But yeah, thank you. I mean, and this is the key. What I realize is that in traditional like corporations and orgs, you're kind of like placed into this box of like, hey, you're a specialist, and then this is like all you can really, produce ideas around. When in reality, we are very creative human beings. Like our capacity for ideas beyond these little boxes we're put into is enormous. And so that's why we want to treat this like an open knowledge project where you can freely float anywhere you want, whatever your interests are. You can mingle with experienced specialists, look at all of the templates and achievements that they've done. All this knowledge is free and open to the entire world. That's the idea behind the open knowledge project. So we're still evolving that idea, but that is certainly something that I really want to encourage, where you don't have to feel like you're stuck in one particular lane, and then that is like your life and your career. We really want to rewrite the rules, not just from the product and the economy perspective, but even as an organization and a team. So yeah, anyway, highly encourage crazy, wild ideas. We'll have project managers keep us sane and on the ground. All right.
I just want to remind everybody that we are doing some game testing Wednesday night and some team building. Meet some fellow Leyliners, test the new chess game. Sorry about the background noise. And that I want to tell everybody that I love you guys very much. And I really appreciate everybody that's enabled me to have so much fun, and I truly appreciate everybody's hard work. And we're right around the corner. We're almost fucking there. Let's fucking go. We're gonna change the game, and we are going to change the world. Let's go.
I love it, Boogie. All right, so just one last housekeeping item. So again, we're onboarding people like crazy, and it'll continue to go like I don't know how much longer, but maybe forever. So one thing I really want to reiterate is that we're developing a rhythm for the organization. So it's a rhythm of business. So what we want to do each week as your individual pods, and even for yourself, what you want to do is think about, what are the things I want to accomplish this week? What are my goals? And as a pod, you should start to come together and think about, okay, what do we as a pod need to achieve? What are the things that are going to help us drive Leyline's success forward? And then you think about, okay, what does it take for us to accomplish these things in this week? What's going to block us? What do we need to move forward? And start to write it down and hold yourselves accountable. So we normally do goal setting on Mondays, and then we execute throughout the week, and Fridays are our opportunity to think about what we ended up doing. And there are two elements. One is typically the sprint review, where you look at, okay, what's the output of your work? Has the product improved? Have you closed on these deals, etc.? That's important to know. Hey, are we good at figuring out what we can accomplish each week? How do we learn about our capacity? The second retrospective is actually how you operate. So coming together as a team, as a pod, okay, what are the processes in place that didn't work really well? What are the things that we tried out that were awesome and we need to keep on doing that? And then what are new ideas we want to try out for the next sprint? So that discipline, that rhythm is so crucial for us to evolve insanely rapidly. And that is where we're going to have a massive advantage in time to market, where most corporations are kind of on these fixed pathways for 6 months to years. We want to be able to adapt so quickly that as the outside environment is changing and shifting, we can shift with it. So very key advantage to continue that kind of philosophy and mindset as we scale into a pretty gigantic organization. So it's been 3 months or less than 3 months since we officially launched, and our growth rate is parabolic. So yeah, just important to think about how you operate in your pods and then work together to keep on iterating and improving. Okay, so time for showcasing. And this is where I'm going to pray if someone can save me, because I don't have anything specific to present. Christian or someone else, may I hand it over to you, one of you guys?
Is the video completed?
No, it's not completed yet. I just threw together a rough with some of the motion graphics are still in progress. We should have a final version, I'm guessing, like Thursday, semifinal. So there's a couple screens in here where the motion graphics are still in progress. Yeah, I threw some stuff real quickly together while this meeting was going on, but yeah, I can share. Well, first I'll go through just the website stuff. Quick shout out to Paco for using the fire poker to get that thing moving. I was impressed with how much he got built in a week. It's pretty amazing. Let's see. This. So so just to go kind of briefly into the concept, assume you're able to see this okay. This is sort of the key art that's driving kind of the homepage background imagery. And this is by Ryan Mulford, who's on our team. Really talented artist, and really kind of the main theme that kind of runs through a lot of the creative on the website that we're working on building and the crowdfunding video is this idea of sort of the fantasy meeting the real world and sort of this paper thin boundary in between them, and the idea of the world as it is and the idea and what it could be, and sort of the doorway between the two being accessible to the individual. And so there's a lot of pretty simple visual metaphors. This idea of, like, I call this concept guiding light, and it's just this kind of objective sort of truth that mankind is heading towards, has a choice to move towards. And so the individual lines are represented in this sort of landscape scene. And yeah, I think there's a powerful story here, talking about humanity as a society and the impact of the individual meeting their potential. So this is kind of the overall concept, and Paco and the Dove team was able to get us. Oh, there you go. Was able to get us all the way to this. This is kind of a preview of the skin. There's some scrolling animation here that's not in place yet, but I'll show you how that functionality should come out in the end. So we have kind of these cutscenes in between. Sorry, Paco?
The good news is actually that Fernando has done some advancement. Maybe we could have some of the animation implemented today or tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Luckily.
So the final version, essentially you're going to scroll upwards as the content is coming on screen. It's kind of a neat inverse scroll effect where the content's going one direction and the background imagery is going the other. It creates like kind of a cool sort of optical illusion that the camera's actually tilting. But we have cutscenes in between, which are sort of show this world at a different resolution and kind of tie in some of the relevant content. So these are the two scenes within the larger panorama, and then it kind of ends up at the star. So this was built in less than a week last week. So that's incredible progress, Paco. And just to give you an idea of kind of where this is heading. So this is sort of what this will work like when we're done. So you have kind of the slow scroll and then transition between the background imagery. And so that's essentially our new homepage design. Just to give you a quick preview, this is super rough, but essentially for the top level marketing site, we're gonna have 3 different scenes. Initially, we're just gonna kind of propagate it with this one scene and fill in the cutscenes with different imagery, so that we can get that up for crowdfunding. But while crowdfunding is going on, we're gonna start building out additional scenes for the top level marketing pages first, and then eventually take a look at bringing that into the more functional backend application. But the next thing I wanted to do is Paris, and Ryan did. This is just like a compositional mock-up, but this is just kind of like a quick sketch of sort of from a perspective standpoint, what he's playing around with this moment, which is going to be a female protagonist in this one, overlooking kind of a Paris cityscape, and then we're going to have kind of the guiding light star and pathways through downtown. So this scene is going to be a bit warmer. I wanted to do something around sunset, make it less blue, and have it kind of just maybe some stars visible, but more about like kind of the sky colors. But yeah, this is, Ryan's only spent like a few hours on this so far, but this is kind of what the end result will be in terms of quality. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the website. We're making really good progress on that. I'm excited to see that come together and start to, this kind of style, which is, I think, really, I think this fits really well within the game world. The idea of telling a story visually with our content, I think is the right approach, and I think it's entertaining and rewarding for the end user. But yeah, that being said, let me. I have to reshare a tab so that I can play the video. Let me see if I can actually play it in 1080 yet. Oh, it's just 720, but that's okay. Yeah, let me share the newest cut of the video, which, like I said, I think we should have a final cut. Let's see, end of tomorrow. I think is what we're shooting for. There's a couple motion graphics in here. I did notice that the guy in there only has one arm, things like that. So, hold on. All right, make sure I share the right tab.
2020 has presented humanity with a few new challenges. COVID-19 threatens the health of millions and has left the global economy in shambles. The world has an untapped resource that can help eradicate COVID-19 and many other challenges ahead of us. Your computer is a data processing machine capable of processing trillions of calculations per second. The gaming community alone represents the largest distributed network in the world. What if we harnessed a small fraction of this underutilized resource and applied it towards world-changing scientific research, all while you were sleeping? Leyline makes it easy to securely donate your computer's spare processing power. Run Leyline in the background and earn perks like gift cards and some of your favorite in-game rewards. Together, we can speed up scientific research, help save thousands of lives, and have fun while doing it. Change the game. Change the world. Join us at our quest at leyline.gg/donate.
All right, man.
So yeah, that's where we're at on the crowdfunding video. Getting close on it. It's looking really good. Yeah, shout out to Justin on the VO closet VO work, like literally closet work. But yeah, everything's coming along really well. Excited to see it all come to life, and yeah, just on the home stretch, kind of polishing up some of those assets, and yeah, hopefully launching this thing with a bang.
Hell yeah. Super excited for that. And we got more coming. So yeah, sit tight, and it's gonna be some exciting times here. So now I guess to close it out, I have a few thoughts here. So again, it's super important we understand like why and what we're doing here. So just to kind of reemphasize, we are actually aiming to build an economy based off of altruism, where you can do good things in the real world and get rewarded for that, and accelerate solutions to these massive challenges that we cannot solve as individuals. So that's really the promise we're trying to build here. And Boink is still just the first partnership we want to aim for. So yes, we can passively donate our computing power and start to accelerate scientific research, but we could do so much more. And the fact that we can build an economy around doing good things allows us to scale infinitely. So some things we're going to be prototyping very soon are the ability to do a daily check-in and say, hey, I exercised today, because exercise is a universally good thing for everybody. So how do we actually incentivize exercising? We just give Leyline points where they can earn items and earn gift cards. And the second thing we're going to prototype is starting to consider how do we just reward people that have donated blood to the Red Cross. So let's say you just take a simple photo of a I donated blood sticker from the Red Cross, and boom, we'll get you some Leyline points. So these experiments are really powerful because it gives us data. It shows us that users actually respond to these economic incentives and these intrinsic motivators that we're building for them. And we can go to Red Cross and say, listen, we've already donated 1,000 gallons of blood. Like, let's do a real partnership here and like make this thing happen. Or we can go to Fitbit and Apple Watch and say, hey, we've got a whole bunch of people exercising. Can we do something to validate this with real data and really build that ecosystem to incentive great behavior? So this is like the pathway that we're on right now, and we can so we can supercharge any kind of benevolent activity on the planet. That's really where we want to go. And so the whole defeat element is really powerful because we are aiming to defeat COVID-19, we're aiming to defeat poverty and extreme poverty throughout the globe, and we're aiming to defeat climate change. All of these things are possible. Like we've been trained not to believe it's possible, but we could fucking do it. Like here we are, ready to go. So that's the mission. That's where we want to be. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot to do, and we're going to be rewriting some serious rules that people will be unhappy that we're rewriting. But I think at this point, nothing can stop us. I think we've proven that this is possible. So now let's do it. Let's increase the probability of this happening by working hard and making it happen. The last bit as well, I really want to emphasize how important defeat that is, because it is actually congruent with our values. So in case anyone hasn't seen this on our onboarding guide, these are the core values of Leyline. And certainly there are a lot more principles and behaviors as a culture that we're going to cultivate, but we aim to be dynamic. So as I mentioned, we want to be able to iterate very quickly and adapt. We want to focus on empathy and celebrate humanity, because if we don't care about each other, then what's the whole point of this entire thing? We also want to create the society that's actually built on flourishing and abundance. Because of technology and all of the accomplishments we've had, there's no reason why people need to be struggling to live. Like, that is just crazy if we've written the rules of the system and we're having people just die because they don't have an opportunity to get a job. At the same time, we want to empower the individual and say, listen, you are not stuck in your little box or your little, and you, like, in fact, you can't do anything. And the best you can do is like check off a box on a ballot, and that's it. Now your fate is sealed. We want to empower people to actually bring about change in the world. And we are aspirational. The thing we are aiming to do here is pretty crazy. You know, I think like many people believe that this thing is not real or cannot happen, but we need to push the envelope, because now is the time to change. Shit's really broken right now, and we've got to really think outside the box to help build a better future. And then finally, it's all about transparency. So this meeting is going to be recorded, and this is going to be publicly available eventually. So everything we say and do, we want to make sure it's transparent so that the community can hold us accountable. There is a tremendous amount of power that we're going to be gaining as a successful platform, and power is highly corrosive and highly corrupting. So transparency is a counterbalance to that kind of corruption, because you are actually not going to be great at holding yourself accountable. I am not going to be great at holding myself accountable. So you need others to see what you're doing and to keep you in your lane. So with these core values, we aim to defeat COVID-19, extreme poverty, climate change, and ultimately artificial superintelligence, which I'll get into. It's a totally separate topic. Anyway, I wanted to share that, kind of reinforce why we're here, who we are, what we're going to accomplish. I believe in every single one of you. We can do this. And we are just getting started. This is, we are building a movement. And like I said, we're going to go parabolic. That's the plan. So, all right, I think that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I love all of you. We are all human.
I add a housekeeping item, just super quick, since I have a lot of people on. So, sorry, Jeremy, but as Jeremy has been talking, like, there's a lot of, we depend on our alpha testers to help us build our platform. And it's really important for us to keep track of like who we want to invite. For the newcomers, we have a list. I just posted the link here. Please take a look. Please add who you want to invite as alpha testers into this list. And for those who already have their people on there, please, please, please go on there and decide which wave you want. So far we've gone wave 1. We are going to fully go through wave 2 this week, and it's important to keep adding people. So take a look at your list. Please assign which wave you feel comfortable with inviting them into it, so we can make sure we get them in the right wave and we get their feedback, as that's going to be really crucial as we build our platform. Sorry, Jeremy.
No, that's great. I'll even layer on top of that. So in case it's more incentive, you already have $1,000 worth of gift cards in that prize pool. we are getting more because we've also got our Zydex coupon codes already ready to go. So we're going to start to seed real digital items, non-fungible tokens with these coupon codes already injected. So the alpha testers will be earning money theoretically, and we will keep on filling our prize pool. If all of those cards get claimed, we're going to just keep on piling money in there. And we are trying to figure out a way that these alpha testers will be able to retain some of these non-fungible tokens that they can create. And that could be very interesting what happens 2 years from now with those NFTs and a successful Leyline platform. Again, I want to reference the CryptoKitties case study where one item sold for $170,000. One item. So it's, not that I want to promise this to the alpha testers, but, just letting you know that they are going to have a really cool head start on the platform, and it's going to be very exclusive. Not many people are going to be able to join on these early waves. So potentially some good incentive for people to join in. Again, we want to tie economic incentives to good behavior. So that's always where philanthropy struggles, is that people just don't like doing good unless there's what's in it for me. So let's put cash in their hands and they'll start doing good things. There is one other cleanup item, which is please send your bios to Kevin and your profile pictures, because we want to show the world that we are an army. We are not some corporate conglomerate. We are a movement of people. We don't have this crazy hierarchy. We are just coming together and building something because we believe in it. So we need to surface that on our About Us page. And what I want is this infinite scrolling of bios of everyone that's fighting to build a better world. So please send it in. We want to know about you. The world wants to know who you are and what you're doing. So I really appreciate it if you get that in. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and reach out to me directly if you got any questions or feedback. I'm always available. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
So, guys.
Bye.